this is Jeeps Rock. We're always talking about Jeeps, and this time we're still going to talk about Jeeps, but just in a different way. This is going to be something to do with tires, and to make it a lot easier than having to remove a tire off a vehicle, we removed one off of our lawnmower that always has a flat tire anyway, so that way we can fix it and get everything done at once. We're going to do two things today. One, we're going to actually repair the valve stem, and then we're also going to coat the inside of the tire with a product called TireJect, and that's going to seal any of those like holes that we have, or if there's any cuts. Nothing on the sidewall, but here on the top, it's going to seal that, and we're going to get that all resolved with just two products. And we want to show you if we combine those two together, it's going to repair a tire. So again, if you're out on the trail, it'll do the same thing for you as well, as long as you don't have like a sidewall cut, because of course it's not going to do that with the TireJect. But of course, that's a lot more problems you're going to have. So that probably just want to replace the tire or take your spare off, or what you got to do to get yourself back off the trail. But again, we're going to show you two different products. The first one that we're going to talk about is going to be the Colby Valve, and what we're going to use today is the Ultimate. Ultimate's going to be the shortest one in the family of the Colby Valves, and if you go out to colbyvalve.com, you'll see that there's 4 different ones right now. There's the Ultimate, Emergency, the Permanent, and then the XL. The XL is going to be one that's going to use different, not the standard size wheel size. But today what we're going to do is we're going to use again the Ultimate. The Ultimate is one that's going to avoid stem issues in the future. It's ultra strong, low profile. It's 20 times stronger than the standard valve stem. And this one, you're going to need a 7/16 socket to get that one on, and it's going to fit your standard 1.453 valve hole, and that's just your standard one you're going to see on most vehicles as well. And what this is going to do is it's going to do it with less than a minute. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the stem that's already in here and replace it with this one. If you were worried about maybe cutting a valve stem out on the trail, you could also put one that's permanent before you even put the wheel on. Or what you can do is they also have one that are called Emergency, and you'll see it's a little bit different because this one doesn't require tools. This is your tool right here. That way it gives you just enough pressure as well as enough way you can tighten it down without having to use tools. And again, this is an emergency. If you have any vehicle, not even an off-road vehicle, just any vehicle, you never know, that stem may have either been rotted or it may have been torn or cut, you know, just on a trail. You just don't know what's going to happen. So it's always good to have maybe one of these in every one of your vehicles, but especially if you got an off-road vehicle. It's really simple to do. This one again takes about a minute, no tools necessary, and this one is tool-free. It is 20 times stronger as well, and all you do is you fully insert the emergency valve, you maintain the pressure, twist until it's snug, make sure that you don't have any air, and then you just air up the tire, and you should be up and going again if you have a valve stem that's been cut on the trail. The next thing that we're going to do is once we have that installed, we're going to go ahead and we're going to add this TireJect. And the TireJect, what it's going to do is it's going to coat the inside of the tire, kind of like your old green slime, but this is completely different, and it's going to be a lot easier on the inside of your tire. And what it has is it's a natural liquid rubber. It's got recycled rubber tire particles, and then it's also got the DuPont Kevlar fibers in it as well. And if you're not sure what size tire or how much you're going to need, because these come in different sizes, this has got the 4 ounces to it, and they also have an off-road package as well. But it will, you can go out and download the app, and you just click on your particular vehicle, and it'll give you it'll say up to a certain size and how many ounces. But all you're going to do is you're going to shake that up, and then you take out the valve stem core, and you just pour it in, and then you put it back together, air it back up, and you're fixed. So again, we're going to fix 2 things today. We're going to fix the valve stem, and then we're going to fix the tire itself. That way we can still use this nice tire that we have. It's got a lot of nice tread still, and so that's what we're going to do. So if you would stick with us, we're going to go ahead and we're going to remove all the air out of here, just so it'd be like it was out on the trail, or if it was in your garage and you just, you know, come around the corner and you're like, oh great, I've got a flat tire, what do I do? So what we've done now is we went ahead and put an air tool, removal tool on here, and it's going to just remove a little bit of the air, get some of the pressure out, and you can hear it. And we've let out most of the air, and when we pull this out, it's going to take all the air out. But what we're doing is just kind of getting a little bit of that pressure off of the wheel here. And so we remove this, and now it's time to take off that valve stem. With a larger size diameter wheel, it's going to be a lot easier. So not very much room in here. So we went ahead and just grabbed some vice grips right here, and we're just going to clamp down on it, and we're going to try to pull on it as best we can. It may not all come off completely, but that's okay if it falls in the inside there, but we're just trying to get that back flush. So we're just trying to remove this whole entire stem. Just going to clamp down on that really good, and then we're going to pull on it just like that. And you can see right there we got most of it, but now we have a nice flat surface again to work with. And then what we'll do is we'll be taking again this ultimate, and this is the whole entire valve, real simple to do. We're going to put it right inside there, and that is going to be actually the gasket. As you start to crank down, that gasket's going to expand and get that pressure on it. And then we just have a washer right here and then a nut, and then we'll be done. Then we'll be able to air that right back up. Now that we removed the valve stem, you can see right here that it's completely destroyed. It's not going back in. We got it all the way out of there, so there's nothing inside here. It's a nice flush part of the rim now. We're going to go ahead and put in again the ultimate. The ultimate's going to be the shortest one. That's going to give us the most room to work inside here, so we don't want it too tall, as well as we don't want it to really look like it's been repaired. So again, this is going to be the ultimate. What I did is I went ahead and broke it down to pieces. This is going to be your full valve stem right here. Then you've got a gasket, a washer, a nut, and then once that's completely tightened down by using a 7/16 socket, you'll then just put on your normal valve stem cover. And that way it's going to look really nice once that's done. But again, you just want to make sure you got a nice flush connection to it, nice and tight. You don't have any air coming out of it, and then we'll just air it back up and we should be good to go. So what we're going to do is, again, I had that broken down for you, but again in the package it's already pre-assembled for you. But all I'm going to do is I'm just going to push it down a little bit. That way when I put it here in the valve stem hole, it's not going to fall through, because we don't want to lose the whole entire stem. So make sure you always have that gasket on there. So what we'll do is we're going to go ahead and just put it straight through here, get that gasket on there. So now that I've put it in there, again I'll show you, it just looks like that. We're going to make sure that's in there, and this is the right size, so we're going to go ahead and push it down. Then we're going to take again that washer, and then we're going to take the nut, and I'm going to go ahead and do it freehand first. Just get it kind of snug. Again, I'm trying to keep it so it doesn't rock back and forth. Make it nice and tight. I'm going to take out my socket. Again, this is a 7/16 socket. I'm just going to tighten it down. I can start to feel it getting a little bit tighter. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and leave it as it is right now, and again I'm going to take that valve stem cover and put it on there. Make sure that I can get it all the way down. And I don't see that it's moving, and that's a good test right there. As you can see, I don't see it moving, it's not wiggling. I don't see it just fall off. And again, I was able enough to get the valve stem cover on there, so it should be pretty good. But what we'll do is we'll just give it a few more turns, and then we'll air it up with air and make sure that we've got that seated properly. I'm just going to give it just one more turn, and then we'll go ahead and air it up. Make sure it works. Went ahead and aired up the tire. It's holding very nicely. I don't hear any leaks or anything. It's still really well sealed, so that Colby valve is in there very nice. It's nice and tight. It's not coming out. And now what we're going to do is we're going to move on to our TireJect. It's just three simple things. You got your container full of the liquid. This is going to be almost like a syringe. What you'll do is put this on the valve stem itself, open it up, put it on there, twist it on there, and then you just squeeze and fill it. And then you're also going to use the core tool, which is this right here. It's really small, but it does come with the kit. All I'm going to do is put that on the valve stem itself and twist on it. And I'm going to do it counterclockwise, and that's going to remove the actual stem out so that it's just a solid tube. That way there's nothing blocking the liquid, and it'll go right in. We'll squeeze it, and then we'll put this back on our lawnmower, and we'll spin the tire, because we're not really ready to run the lawnmower today, but we'll just spin this tire for a couple of minutes, make sure we got a nice even coating, and then we'll be ready to go. First thing you need to do is always make sure that you removed all the air before you move anything further. So we're going to remove the cover here, and then we're just going to use our air down tool just for this purpose here. Let the air out. And while we're doing that, we're going to go ahead and get this set up. All you're going to do is we're going to take this cap off and we're going to screw this on, but we're going to make sure that we have this not open. If you do, then it's going to start letting the liquid come out. So make sure that's closed, and you're just going to twist that and put that on the little container here. Just like that. So that's ready to go. And it does say shake well before using, and we did shake that up really well before we used it. Just make sure we get a little bit more air out here. Again, this was on the ground, there'd be a lot more air, be a lot flatter. But for our purposes, we don't have any pressure behind that core now. So what we're going to do is we're going to take, this comes with the kit as well, this is just a remove the actual inner core here of the valve stem, and you're going to do that counterclockwise. It's got a little cutout right here. You're just going to line that up, and you're going to put it there on the stem here. So you just put it inside there, line it up, and you don't need a tool for this. You can just slowly turn it, and it'll be threaded all the way through there. And again, if you had air in this, it would just probably go flying right out. So be careful, make sure you got all the air out of your tire as you can. And then with that tool, that's what's inside. That's your valve stem right there. That's the inside of the core. So that's been removed. So now what we're going to do is we're just going to push that right onto the valve stem with this tube. Make sure you get it all the way on there. And then all we're going to do is just open it up. And there's the goo, the liquid. When I looked at the app, it said about 5 ounces. This is 4, so I want to make sure I get all of it in there that I can. Get it all in there. And then we're going to close it off. We're just going to shut it off right here. And there's no problem if that gets on your hands. You can just use some cold water and clean it off. And then what we're going to do is we're going to just reverse what we did. We'll put that back in using that same tool. And then we'll air it back up, and then we'll spin it around on our lawnmower for about 3 minutes, or if you want to, just put it on the lawnmower and ride it around for a little bit, and that'll coat that whole amount here inside the tire. Alright, so now that we've done is we've gone ahead and again we put that Colby Valve Ultimate valve in, and then we've also got our TireJect in here, so we were able to save this tire. I am not sure, I didn't price how much this tire would have been, or how much even just the pure labor of just getting this off, replacing it. I didn't want to mess with all that, so I saved myself a lot of time. It'll save yourself a lot of time too if you want to give yourself a chance by using some TireJect and a Colby valve, and you'll be able to save that tire and just keep on either mowing the yard or staying on those trails. And we again appreciate watching Jeeps Rock, and we'll see you either on the trail or we'll see you around. Thanks again for watching.